jacked. All their makeup. Look at this.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat.
CCTV of shoppers and burglars will be checked against official passport and immigration databases using facial recognition technology in a major crackdown on thieves. Is this good or bad? Well, it sounds fantastic, because all of those times we've caught people on cameras and we can't find them. They've taken our bikes, they've robbed our telephones, they've robbed baggages, they've held us up, they've hijacked cars. Now, with facial recognition and AI, we can find all of those people. All of those CCTV going back 20, 30, 40 years, or however many years it is, we can now find them. We can punish them for crimes they did 10, 15 years ago. And we allow the police to get on with proper jobs, and we use AI to help us help the police fight crime in a way that costs very little money, brings justice, puts people in prison, maybe takes people out of prison, and lowers the crime rate everywhere, because people know that if their faces are seen on television cameras, and there are many, a plethora of cameras, you've got ULEZ, you've got them in shops, you've got them in streets, you've got the police ones, you've got the Uber drivers, you've got cameras in cars, you've got Google cameras, everywhere you've got cameras. Everyone is being monitored, so any crime that takes place, you can deal with straight away. And that sounds fantastic. We can live finally in a crime-free society helped by artificial intelligence and technology. Technology has come to the aid of humanity, the new God, the prophet, the beast system. It's coming. We're going to get peace at last. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the rapes, the killings, and the child abduction. The police are going to get reduced workloads. They'll be able to do better things. And, we can see light at the end of the tunnel. But hold on a minute. There is a difference between solving crime and stopping crime. Solving crime is when someone does a crime and then you find them and you punish them. But stopping crime is stopping people from doing a crime, because in their lives there might be problems. So fear of getting caught does not heal the issue of stopping crime. It will manifest in a different way. It's like water. You block one hole up, it will find a different way to come out. The issue is a social issue. Poverty, abuse in the house, physical, mental, psychological, emotional, and other abuses in the houses that children grow up in. Bad environments, bad education, bad housing, homelessness, addiction to drugs, technology, bad education at school in the form of teaching kids to do things that adults should be doing. All of these things create problems in the society, especially the education. Is the education that we teach our children for a spiritual and a conscious movement towards where we perhaps need to go to? Or is it something from the Industrial Revolution, whereby you teach children in order to do skills to solidify the society as a whole, especially the industrial complex, military industrial complex, economical industrial complex, and we continue being slaves in a system and push forward technology so that technocrats can come into power. So what is education? Because it's school, it's not education. University is not education. It's just about training the mind in order to think in a particular way to run society. And it's a lie, and we get lied to us. If you really want education, you've got to understand how the world works and how interlinking things work. You've got to understand about hyperspace, metaphysics, consciousness. You need to read about sacred geometry, the sacred books, Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran. You've got to read about all of those things for real education, because you need to understand who you are, why you are, what you're doing here. And education offers none of that metaphysical stuff. In fact, it poo-poos it, and the new God is the AI God, which is being pushed and presented by technology at this moment in time, which some people think is the beast system. The issues that we have that cause crime are caused by the world. So we need to sort out world issues. In other words, we create the illness. When the illness manifests, we punish the people. But the society caused it in the first place. So surely the society should be punished, not the individuals which perhaps are victims of the society. Now, of course, you've got lazy people, difficult people, people that don't change right. It's a very small minority. But you have people that go down that route that don't necessarily need to go down that route if they're taught properly by society, which has got a consciousness about it. The people, when the police can't solve crimes, the people get angry. When AI comes to the rescue, we're going to love AI. We're going to beg it to be introduced into our lives. It's going to sort out the traffic, the laws, the court systems, the politics, economy, health, education, insurance, policies, food. AI will make the world a better place. That's what we're being sold. It's going to free us up. We're going to be able to write poetry and paint pictures and go on holiday and spend more time with our children because AI is going to help us. We can introduce a 4-day week because AI is going to help us. It's going to become our assistant like Siri. In fact, we can even have sex. Oops, I can't say that. We can even have with it. It will become a lover. We will become digisexual, robosexual, anything digi and sexual. Sex bots coming in, everything. So we will have families maybe with AI. We won't need a husband. We won't need a wife. We'll just get a pod, put it in the room, put the baby in there, press the timer, and then out it comes in 9 months. And then you'll have AI to help bring up the child. You'll have AI doing the education. You'll have hyper specialized education to help children find out what jobs they're best at. And then you'll have a dating system, which has been brought out on AI to find you a partner if you want a partner and you don't want to have AI. So there's all sorts of things that are coming out to push artificial intelligence. And then AI will overtake our lives. We will become AI because as your mind merges with AI, you then become AI and you become an extension of AI, and the AI starts to control you rather than you control it. If you look at technology, technology controls us. We're addicted to the technology. If crimes are caused by society to a large extent, we have an issue. And in fact, you can go back to, I think it's Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was asked by the emperor to become a court judge, and he said that's the worst thing you could possibly do, to put me in charge of that. And there was a court case, and there was a rich man and a poor man, and the poor man had stolen from the rich man, and Lao Tzu let the poor man go because he said this is a societal issue. It's been caused by the way in the structures of society, and immediately he was sacked because he wasn't pushing for the agenda of the society 2,000 years ago. Solving the societal issues by taking away our privacy is very dangerous. So saying we have all of these issues, AI is going to be better, all we've got to do is give up our privacy and our autonomy in order to have a better life. That's a very dangerous way to go down. And with the constant push and flux of looting and pillaging, which is going on in the world in shops, there's some sort of virus which I think started in America. It went on to social media and the people in London, and now everyone's just going into shops and just taking stuff, because the punishment I think in America for shoplifting is not a prison offense. So people know that if they get caught, this is what I think, that nothing's going to happen. And so people say, well, you know, how are we going to stop this? You see, how are we going to stop this? And you've got different branches to stop it. You've got Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, okay, you do that, we'll shoot you.
I can't believe it. You know, these people are killing people when they go into the stores. You'll have 300 young people who are not looking for a good future walk into a store, big department store, and just pillage it. And if you happen to be there when they're there, they'll knock the hell out of you and kill you in some cases. And we will immediately stop all of the pillaging and theft. Very simply, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store.
Everyone's like, yeah. We love Donald Trump. We want Donald Trump. Bring Donald Trump back in because he's providing a solution. Now, the thing with Donald Trump and shooting people is that you're bringing the power back to the people. You're taking it away from the police and you're bringing it back to the people, and you're saying to the people that looters, you're saying, be very careful because we got a right to shoot you. Well, the police are going to be doing it, but it might be pushed back to the people. You could put laws in saying, look, if you go to someone's house and you steal or rob, you go to someone's shop and you destroy their lives, that person has a right to defend their families and the income coming in to pay for their families. And so therefore you can shoot those people. And in the past, that was acceptable. But as society progressed, those laws and those rules got taken away from people, so you couldn't protect your property and you had to rely on the police to do it. And the problem is that the police don't have enough time or money, and they're not funded properly in order to go and help everybody with this mass looting going on. So the people suffer, because if you go and do something, you might become the criminal. The other way is then to have digital ID and AI which looks and reads faces with lots of cameras, which then takes autonomy and power away from you and puts it into the government. But once that goes into the government, then the government can misuse it and do other things. So for instance, it's much like the vaccine cards. Are you vaxxed or are you not vaxxed? And then that got pushed to, well, if you want to travel, you've got to have a vaccine card. So once one type of technology comes in saying you are vaccinated, or you have a digital ID, the governments can always abuse it and pull it in their direction in order to fulfill their agenda. So you've got to be very careful about these stealth things that come in to help the population, right? If the society becomes full of shoplifting, road rage, stealing, bike theft, police not doing anything, then the people are going to beg for something to happen. And remember, if you see a crime, you can be sued for stopping it, or you can become criminally charged for assaulting somebody for stopping it. So the power has been taken away. Your power as a citizen is taken away because you stopping a crime can be a crime against you. So we are depowered. Also, we don't teach children about law in school. The reason you don't teach law to children in school is so that if they are cornered or clobbered by the police, they don't know the laws that are protecting them. And you should know the laws, especially in England. In America, they know better the laws, but in England we don't. We are taught to be stupid. If you want a functioning society, surely you should know what the laws are. You need to know what the rules are of the society. So why don't we teach that to children? Because police can take advantage of people if they don't know what their rights are. That's why. We teach them instead about anal sex. We teach them how to rim someone of the same sex in children's books from 4 to 8 years old. But they won't teach you your human rights or how to support your society. Now you've got to tell me, yeah, if you're teaching someone how to rim someone and you're talking about fleshy bits in anal holes, and you're talking about how to lube it, and you're talking about that to 4 to 8 year olds, but you won't tell somebody what their rights are to defend their property, something's not right. And well, it is right for the government, because the government gets power. They get to control the children by changing their heads, and also by taking your rights away to defend yourself. So we're being pushed into a position where crime is allowed, and police can't, or don't want to do their job. The public have been disarmed, they've been disempowered, they're ignorant about the law, and they can't stop crime from fear of being the predator. Growing hatred of the police is also coming in with Black Lives Matter. The police are always outed for doing these terrible things on social media, and then there is a lot of backlash against them. The police can never win, but the police have their own issues, and to be honest, I haven't been too happy with the police and what they've done. I'm a middle class guy. When you get the middle class people turning against the police, that's a big problem, because usually it's the police putting pressure on the poor people and keeping the middle class people safe. But now the middle class people are starting to get annoyed because the police aren't stopping the middle class from being protected by the poverty when they come into the shops and loot it. So AI is coming to solve the issue. There's cameras everywhere. Face technology is coming out across the system. You can backdate all the crimes, and it sounds good. So what happens when speaking out is a crime? Protest is a crime. Stopping your kids turning transsexual is a crime. Speaking about LGB or Black Lives Matter or Me Too or whatever the new fad is that's coming out. And who remembers Me Too? Who remembers Black Lives Matter? It's something that came and then goes, come then goes. At the moment, it's the war in Ukraine. So everyone's like up in arms about Ukraine. So when the war in Ukraine stops, when Russia wins that one, then the next thing's going to come out. It might be a virus, or then it might be a pathogen, or then it might be some terrorist attack. There's always some narrative in the public which never stops. There's always something which is carrying this wave of negative consciousness which brainwashes people and keeps their attention while laws get passed in the background. For instance, laws at the moment being passed are ones whereby if social media platforms put out people or dissenters, people that speak out against the system, they can be fined. So basically they're taking away freedom of speech by fining platforms who allow people to speak out against the system. Nobody knows what's happening because the Ukraine war is going on. Or not putting your child in a school could be a crime. So we already saw what happened to Nigel Farage. His bank was closed because he had a different political opinion, which was endorsed by the majority of the population, which signifies business is moderating and molding social thought. Unelected monopolies and powerhouses are now telling us how to behave. And if we don't behave in a particular way, we live in fear of being cancelled. Cancelled by the bank, cancelled by social media, cancelled by our job, cancelled by making money, cancelled by anything, cancelled by the public, cancelled by our friends, cancelled by the NHS, whatever it is. So everything is coming onto one central point. Europe is no longer Europe. The countries are no longer their own countries. They are Europe. And England leaving it because of Nigel Farage, he was castigated bank for doing that. So England supposedly got its freedom, but everything's coming under one entity. For instance, shopping's coming under one entity. Amazon. Social media is coming under perhaps one or two entities, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And they're censoring what you say. X is perhaps getting a little bit better, but YouTube is certainly very difficult, and especially for me, I've been shadow banned, and it's hard. So digital health ID will come under one entity, the World Economic Entity, the World Health Organization. Economics will come under one entity, and then you'll have all of those entities, Amazon, YouTube, WDF, Economic Forum, all of these things, they will then come under one entity, and that entity will probably be AI. Now, who builds AI? Who gives the algorithms? A Nazi, a woke person, a liberal, a right-winger? Because by the time the AI code is accepted, the kids which have been brainwashed will be voting in something to control them. So you've got Greta Thunberg. She's brainwashed the children to think in a particular way. She's endorsed fear. She's put fear into these guys. The woke movement, the transgender, the LGBT, the Black Lives Matter, hate the white man. The white man's evil for everything. The men are evil for everything. Men are wife beaters, poor women, poor black women. Feel sorry for the criminals. Let men into women's prisons, let men pregnant, let men into sport and bash women up in boxing so they get brain damage. Yeah. So that is what is being driven into the children. And you can see it in the books when you got children being told that they can change gender, or you're teaching very young people how to lick an anus hole after you wash it with lots and lots of soapy water so it's clean. And when you're trying to penetrate it, then you should put lube on. You're teaching very young people things that I think are adult issues, adult things. And so, if you go against that, then you'll be cancelled. And then if that's a crime, if you go out of your house, then you'll be picked up. Or if you go out of your 15-minute city, you'll be picked up from digital ID, which has been cross-referenced to the cameras, and you can have your bank account stopped, or you can't travel, or you can be arrested, or you can be cancelled, or you can be punished by banks, or whatever it is that they're trying to do. So what you're doing is you're giving up your privacy and your autonomy. The government caused many of the problems in our countries. You have mass refugees coming into the country who aren't refugees. They're here for lots of other reasons. You've got good refugees, right, which we need. We've got good immigrants, which we need, which are less lazy or not lazy at all compared to the people in our countries. So some white people in England very lazy, and you get like an African or an immigrant, they come over and it's like, hey man, thanks very much, you're doing a great job. But the problem is that a lot of these refugees are from war-torn countries. They're poor, they don't have education, they're coming in, they're criminals, and then the media blows it all up. Oh, this one's raped, this one's violence, and the different cultures don't mesh together. They're still apart. You've got Islam, which just doesn't mix with some Christian and Hindu groups. You've got some races that don't mix. You've got ideologies that don't mix. And so you're having a problem in society, which has just now been said by Suella Braverman, which is saying that the society, this multicultural society, which we've been pushed, hasn't worked. Having a multicultural society should make that culture better, but it's actually breaking the cultures down.
It's my job, first and foremost, to be honest and speak for the majority of the British people. And my comments have been somewhat mischaracterised. We have so much to be proud of. We have a great multi-ethnic society, and in many parts of our country, integration has worked. But there are also many towns and cities around the United Kingdom where it hasn't. And communities are living parallel lives. They are coming from abroad, they are not learning the language, they're not embracing British values, and they're not taking part in British life. And that needs to be identified. We need to be fearless in calling that out.
So rape is up, no integration, terrorism's up. And the government caused these problems by going to Iraq, by going to Libya, by going to Afghanistan, by destroying countries that have got nothing to do with us on lies, using our money to do it. And you bring the problem to England, you bring the problem to America, wherever it is, you bring the problems there. And then you see the looting and you see the crime. The police aren't working. The police can't do anything. So then the answers presented to you, artificial intelligence, facial recognition, that will solve the problem, because the people aren't thinking what bad things might happen if this is introduced. They're just thinking of their moment. They're just thinking of the short term. How do we get this problem fixed? So delete the police, cancel the police, defund the police, hate the police, overwork the police, create more problems. Police are defunct, say in the press that the police are racist, police are bad people, police are this, police that. Everyone hates the police. Oh, but AI is the savior. AI is going to help everything. God give us AI. So AI is introduced. And then when it's introduced, then your control goes, then your autonomy goes. So you're giving up your freedom and your privacy for safety. But you already have the safety. It's just that safety has been challenged by the government so they can bring in a different agenda to take away more of your control, more of your autonomy by offering you more safety. I will give you more safety if you give me more control. Right, you give them the control and then they cause another problem. And then you say, well, this problem needs to be fixed. If I fix it, I'll go to prison. Nothing else that you're doing can fix it. How do I do it? The government says, oh, if you want that problem fixed now, give me some more of your control, more of your privacy. You do that, they fix the problem. Then another problem occurs, which the government's caused. And then you see the same pattern going down the line. The USA is allowing lots and lots of immigrants into the country. Why? Because immigrants vote Democrat. And so when you got that coming into the country, which is going against people, let's say Trump, I don't support Trump, I don't support Democrats, I don't support any politics. They're all the same problem. Trump's very divisive, but what's happening is that the backlash against the system, Trump's riding the wave and he's doing it really well and he looks really good, but I still think it's part of the game. It's part of the theater. It's been created that way. It's been presented that way. Make Joe Biden look really bad, destroy the country. And then you've got a savior coming along in the form of Donald Trump. And everyone's saying, yeah, Donald Trump, he's saying the right things. He's saying that you're going to get shot. And so people are now, the Biden government or the woke governments, which are in effect at the moment, are allowing a lot of these problems to occur, and the backlash will either be very, very strong regulations and harsh justice, or it will be introducing artificial intelligence with AI and cross-referencing it with facial recognition. The government just doesn't care about you. It cares about the vote and it cares about power, right? You've got governments letting people into the country, destroying the country so that they can get more votes. They are not interested. They are not interested in us, the people. They are not interested. When you get into government, you have to swear oaths. You have to do ceremonies. You change in the mind. You become famous. You get power. You get ego. People come to you. You're involved in corruption. You're involved in abuses. You're involved in killing people, going to war. You have to become a psychopath to enter into politics, or become a psychopath once you're in politics. They're not interested in us, and we pay them and they abuse it. How is it that they go into government to become politicians to help the people, and then Nancy Pelosi, she's got a $15 million house and an $8 million house, two houses, one 8 million, one 15 million. How does Bill Clinton get in and get 40 million or 100 million? How about the Bushes? How about Obama? They're very rich people. Why are these people vastly rich? Because they take advantage of the people, they take advantage of their position. It's like in England, it's like Nusrat Ghani. Again, she took money from shipping companies. I think it was 50,000, like huge amounts of money. Again, in England, you've got people like Nusrat Ghani, and they take money. It's legal, but it's immoral. And they take money because of their position. People didn't vote you into power so that you could take advantage of your position to get lots of money to send your children to very expensive elite private schools. We put you in power to make decisions for us, not to take advantage. And that's what politicians do. So CCTV is a way to enforce an ideology onto the populace. Be very careful what they're doing.